During the spring equinox of 2017, Yanis and Nanj prepared to ritually sacrifice the surviving members of the Society of Leopold that attacked the Coterie a couple of nights prior. During the ritual, Yanis communes with the Earth Mother, and the Khaldun is swallowed with his sacrifice into the earth. Nanjazal tries to mimic the blood sorcery ritual with her sacrifice, and feels something in her blood stir as she melds into the earth. Matilda talks to Roger Smith to confirm that the body of Scott Roberts was found in Autarkis territory. Roger is concerned about how the Autarkis seem to be in the know of much of what happens in the Anarch faction. He then proceeds to give Matilda advice for her run for office, while reminding her that truth and honesty are paramount for the Anarchs. Dermot asks Frederick Whitmore, the Toreador Primogen, to sponsor him as a member of the Lockleys Coterie, seeing that it's missing its Camarilla representative. Frederick agrees to help Dermot be appointed in exchange for a major boon. He also offers to transfer Carl's minor boon over Yanis to Dermot. 8 months pass, and the Coterie is summoned to Ashton Court. Before they depart, Yanis thanks Nanj and Matilda for their help in defending his haven. He considers the minor boon he had over Nanj paid, and offers to upgrade the one owed to Matilda to a major boon. They also discuss what information can be shared with the new member. Once in Ashton Court, the Coterie is met by the spokespersons of the factions, Reuben, Felicity, Frederick, and the lawkeeper Morgan, who's there on behalf of the library to record the precedent surrounding the new addition of a member to a multi-faction coterie. Dermot is presented by Frederick, and all of the parties agree on his appointment. Dermot introduces himself to the coterie, and after a short chat, he offers to go to the domain to show the haven the Camarilla has put to the coterie's disposal. Once there, they see Caroline on the CCTV feed. She holds a piece of paper to the camera, saying that Teach wanted a word with all of them.
Good evening and welcome to Blood on the Severn, a Vampire the Masquerade Chronicle set on Bristol, England in the year 2017. With me tonight,
Bex playing Nandazal of the Ministry.
Peter playing Janusz Kroll of Clan Chimitsu.
Rob playing Dermot of Clan Malkavian.
And Alice playing Matilda of Clan Banshee.
Thank you very much for joining us. For those who are watching live or who are watching on YouTube, you now can see that Dermot has his swanky character portrait on the overlay. You can go and see a bigger image on the vlog post. And if you want to be notified of our blog post, make sure to follow us on Twitter as well. Now, as you heard from Hubert's recap, last week ended with the Coterie being in the new haven that the Camarilla has sort of offered to the Coterie to serve as, well, Dermot's studio, but also with the potential of becoming an HQ if you guys choose so. And while Dermot was showing the security system around the place and the setup, you could see Caroline with a message for all of you to go and see Teach. So you're there, you just saw that message.
Is it clear from the message whereabouts we're supposed to go to see him? Or because I think I know where he generally hangs out. Is there a location that can be read from this?
Well, Caroline is not moving from where she is. She's still in view of the camera.
Okay.
She just stays there, waiting as if she would be, standing in the corner.
I'll say to Dermot, where's that camera to? Where's it going out to?
You said, is it the edge of the domain?
It's just on the edge of the domain, not too far.
Well, I reckon we got to get in the car and get over to where she is now.
Well,
Get over to where who is?
Oh, sorry, Jan. Caroline teaches PA. She wants to meet, or Teach wants to meet with all of us.
Looks like.
But she's communicated this through the cameras.
It's a bit ominous, isn't it, that he wants to just have a word?
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, it's not particularly more ominous than what he normally is. I mean,
I suppose so.
Well,
but I reckon we ought to get in the car. We're going to leave Caroline waiting there all day, aren't we? All night.
and it would not be wise to keep Teach waiting any longer than necessary.
No. What's think, Dermot? Do you want to take your car again?
Would it be better to all go in one or split up and go
Probably.
two?
Probably better to go in one, isn't it?
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, let's go in one.
Are you going to drive them, mate?
Hey, do you want to, flip for it or?
Yeah, let's flip.
Okay. pull out a coin and just flick it up in the air.
Okay.
Heads or tails?
Tails.
I look as tails. Sorry, your choice. Ladies' choice.
Alright.
Do you want to do it or do you want to?
No, it's fine. We'll get in my car.
Hey.
Happy to do it. Yeah, I'll just lead everyone out.
Yep. So you drive to where Caroline is. She's still there in the edge of the domain. And when she sees you approaching in the car, you know, flashlights, and she sort of waves, and she sits in the passenger seat of the car that is parked there. And as she's getting in the car, she makes a gesture for you to follow them.
Okay.
It's not a long drive. Just go to the center, get to Spike Island, and once you are parking there, once you park there and get out of the car, unless you want to have a conversation in the meantime, you're going to Spike Island, to the center.
I think one thing that I will say is I appreciate this is your first evening with us, Dermot, so I should perhaps point out that this is an uncommon occurrence. We're not usually summoned by Teach in this manner.
Oh, that's good to know then. So, I mean, I don't really know how this Coterie thing kind of works. I suppose you guys can kind of tell me.
It's usually that shit kicks off somewhere in the domain and we have to clean it up. Sometimes it's that the people who kick the shit off called us up and asked us to fix it up when really that ain't what they want. Don't think this is that though.
So you think there's a bit of trouble, is there?
Well, it's usually trouble when someone like Teach phones you up in there.
Something like that, I suppose. Yeah.
So it might be as we've got something to do. Don't know.
But I appreciate you thinking, Janusz, that, letting me know this isn't the norm.
Yes, we should all be wary.
Is there anything I should, do or not do? I mean, Nan, he's part of your group, isn't he?
Yeah. Oh, what you mean? Is there anything you should do or not do?
Well, I know what it's like with the cam, the formalities and stuff. Is there any kind of, formal stuff with this guy?
If there is, I don't know what it is.
Well, something comes to mind. Don't piss him off. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, I will say he's like all people that are in his kind of position, right? You don't piss him off. You pay the appropriate respect. But I guess we're not like your lot. We're not, tied down in bloody drama and traditions and all that shit.
It is probably worth remembering that above all, he is a merchant.
Yeah.
He likes to bargain.
So he likes to bargain a bit.
He likes to profit.
He likes to know that he's getting something out of the interaction. And obviously, when he's talking to us, he's always getting something out of it. It's not like we're going to tell him no, is it? But he will respect you if you barter with him.
Fair enough.
Might be as he doesn't know you're coming. Because only tonight you came and joined us.
He will know.
Yeah, I imagine he will.
What is strange, I mean, look, they already knew to put up the sign.
Last time we spoke to him, if this is about the same thing, then he will presumably want to talk to Dermot about it, won't he?
Yeah, I think he wants to clue him in.
Oh, there's a bit of drama. You're saying that me and the Cam boys, we've all got the drama, but look, it's clear you got some of your own then.
Yeah, everyone's got a bit of drama.
Hey? You don't have to go laying that out on the Cam.
Most of our drama are left with Carl.
With Carl? I see. Okay. Fair enough. I don't know about it, so we'll see.
Yeah.
Okay. So once you reach Spike Island and you get off the car, Carolyn approaches you and says, Teach will see you now. Follow me, please. And she just starts walking. And that's when you leave the car park and turn, and you realize you're like headed straight to the SS Great Britain.
I'll follow her. Yeah, I'll keep whatever pace she's keeping.
Yep.
I won't.
Normal.
Oh, wait, yeah, you were.
She's keeping a normal pace, but of course, once she reaches the door, and someone that the person that's with her opens the door for her, she stands in the door and gestures for you to go through, and of course, she politely waits for Janusz and Nanjasel, who is at his side, until
Is this
go through.
an Elysium? Just
No.
it's not okay.
Teacher's gaff.
All right.
Carlos, just out of interest,
Yes.
Which clan is Teach part of?
Bruja.
Buja.
Just the "don't piss him off" rings especially loud when you hear that.
Yeah.
So, you are asked aboard the SS Great Britain as if it were like a little tour for friends. And once inside, you see Teach standing there on deck with a group of people that they all look like they're doing basic maintenance. Like people are cleaning or applying a little varnish. You know, the SS Great Britain is right now sort of like a tourist attraction, and it's a nice piece of Bristol's and Great Britain's heritage. Nanjasel would know that most of these guys are kindred that work for Teach. And in some ghouls. So basically his crew.
Okay.
So he sees you. So, welcome aboard.
Right, Teach. How you be?
Thank you.
Not too bad. So, Dermot, my boy. Congratulations in making it to this fine coterie.
It's nice of you to say so, Mr. Teach.
Yeah. It's not every day that we have people who are more sensible to other factions joining those multi-faction ones, if you know what I mean.
You know, I'm willing to do a little bit of work across the ways. It's the way it needs to be done to keep us all safe.
Well, I'm glad you said that, because I think I have news that the whole of your coterie needs to hear. And this has been agreed by the other factions, of course.
Oh, why? What's that then?
Well, after lengthy, and I do mean lengthy, conversations with Nathaniel and Roger and Polymathus, we came to the conclusion that there is reasonable doubt around the murders of both my boy Gareth, and he looks at Matilda, and your friend's sire Scott murders. Those seem to have enough elements in common. Of course, Gareth's death was inside Autarkis territory, and we kept it as our own investigation. But Gareth, being the man he was, he had a lot of friends outside our faction. Now, Scott's murder is one that transcends the boundaries of the domains. And at the sort of soft reminder of that line, Matilda just internally,
Cool.
So a decision has been made. Of course, this conversation started prior to you joining, Dermot, but a decision has been made to assign a multi-faction coterie to investigate murders that transcend the boundaries of a single faction. Sort of a federal police, if you would like. Now we have multiple factions multiple coteries like yours. And yours happens to be the one closest to one of the areas, together with the Bristol one. Now the guys at the Bristol multi-faction coterie, I don't think they have it in them. Because you have also been investigating and have been successful, as far as I know, in the murder of Jonathan Fowler. So you have, as a multi-faction coterie, a precedent. And that at that reminder, yes, Janus sort of frowns. But teach Masek sound. Like, actually that gives you enough clout. For you have already investigated a serious murder. And had to deal with multiple factions to keep people calm. And that came to a happy resolution as far as parties are involved. So, I guess congratulations again.
So we will.
But that's you.
Cool.
Sorry?
We got permission then to carry on looking into this? These two murders. That's what you're saying.
What I'm saying is that you have been instructed by your multiple factions to carry on investigating this.
What does this mean in regards to travelling Bristol? What permissions must we seek? Which ones do we already have for those purposes?
You will have permissions to enter this area of the Autarkis territory for Gareth's place. It was not far from here, but you will be more likely to find some of the people he used to hang out with in the open areas that we control in the center. For those, you don't need any special permissions. You already have yours. But we have set out special dispensations. If you wish to talk, interrogate, or question people that might provide any information from a specific faction, all you need to do is, well, in the case of the Autarkis, you tell Caroline. She'll round them up, find a place for you to meet them. Alternatively, that people can be sent to your domain, so they have to observe the rules of your place. Your call.
So, in these two murders, if there was someone we wish to interrogate, we have permission to do so.
Question. If it's interrogation, we never discussed that thoroughly. But I would say if you think one of my boys is implicated, I would like to be present when you interrogate them.
And what if we have suspicions of those in other factions?
Then I would like to be present when they're interrogated.
Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt or anything, but it seems like we're being set up to be some kind of, like task force or investigation then. And if there's one thing I know about people having authority and wandering around the place and showing badges around and stuff is people get uppity. I mean, the people here, they don't like the pigs too much, do they?
You're absolutely right. That's why I summoned you here to tell you this. But I'm not broadcasting it.
My point is, if we're going to do this, it sounds like, as Janusz says, we may have to talk to some people and tromp around the territories and the likes, and just sounds like that's making a lot of enemies. And I know we don't really have much choice on this. So I suppose the question is, what really, if we have no choice, is there in it for us to kind of do this well?
Well, it falls within the responsibilities of a multi-faction coterie, but I do understand your concern.
Well,
so
I understand that, but we could make a lot of enemies if people don't like the way that things. This is obviously new territory,
yes.
Just as me joining was. So we're likely to put some noses out of joint and the like.
How about I offer my assistance to this? You work as a task force. You report to me. If there is need to engage with people, we discussed the best way to approach them. Keep it on the quiet. Of course, my assistance does not come without a price, but I believe that it's somewhat offset by the privilege of getting first-hand information from you, Lord. Don't you agree, Dermot? We could even maybe give mutual boons that are considered pay, so your credit, as far as the library stands, is improved. For it'll do a lot for your boon credit record to have boons owned and owed to the Master of Trade, even if they're paid.
It's fair enough. I mean, I was only raising one voice. I mean, I've only just recently joined these guys, and they seem to know a lot more than I do. So I don't want to speak for everybody here. I was just raising a legitimate concern. That was all.
So,
but I don't know how the others feel about this. I would hate to speak on their behalf.
well, you see, Dermot, we have had a basic conversation in the past ages ago when Carl was here, actually. And we have our own understandings with regards to the boons, of course. But yes, I would like to hear, how do you four as a coterie feel about this? All right.
So if we're asked to, the people that we question or interrogate, that's our own business. We make those choices. We're not going to be asked by you or by Roger or by Nathaniel to interrogate certain people. Am I right in thinking that we have autonomy here to some degree?
Well, if we want to keep it quiet. There are some people that are very willing to share what they know. Very, very willing. And others need a little prodding, if you know what I mean. So, let's say I will give you enough autonomy, as long as you don't draw attention to yourselves. What we don't want is the real culprits getting wind of you being in their tails. Does that make sense?
Am I right in thinking, Teach, that if there was someone we wish to speak to more thoroughly, that you wish to be present, and indeed you might be the authority that allows such a thing to happen, even if that person was outside of the Autarkis?
I have my means, so yeah.
Well, then we may be back in contact soon.
As for what Dermot's suggesting, seems like a good idea to me. So I'm amenable to it. And what do the rest of you think?
It seemed that several things were spoken of. A business of...
This issue of boons.
It seems a little strange to me to have a boon be considered paid when a boon has not been paid.
It'll be put as cashed in. As in, I am already asking for that boon to be paid, and you're in the process of doing that. It's not an outstanding boon.
Works out better for our credit rating, doesn't it?
Yes, it's not how I would normally do things, but I have no objection.
The boon system started with the Autarkis. The library is an offshoot of our faction. Polymathus used to work with me side by side under Giacomo. So we know how it works.
I have no doubt of that.
And if
The one thing that occurs to me is these two murders that we're going to carry on and investigate happened a little while ago now. Trail's a bit cold. seems to me we might need to do a bit of digging to see where we start again.
Why don't you start with the one that happened just now? It was this year.
Yeah.
Well, it was this year, but it's a long time in terms of digging someone out and following a trail.
Well,
I don't think they've gotten away with it, so it might be a little bit easier. Who knows?
Yeah, we might get lazy.
Least we can do is try.
That's the spirit, Dermot.
I ain't saying I'm not going to try. I'm just saying it's not a piece of piss, is it?
No. But I thought this is what you wanted. You wanted
Right,
to look into this. Carl was very eloquent when he described it, and you yourself, Dan, you also were very eloquent, as I remember.
Well, it's important. What I was thinking about was in terms of what Jan was saying about how we move around. When we get to, we've already done some of this work. Probably need to revisit things and see where else we might need to go. And that might lead us back to you if we need different permissions. Just as to say these folks were murdered in the areas where they were, don't mean the people we're looking for hang about there, does it?
Yeah, right. Well, he gestures at Caroline, and Caroline approaches Dermot. He says, I know your little deal with Nathaniel, Dermot. We're also not using any electronic means of communications, with the exception of a centralized system. So if your coterie needs to get a hold of us, call Caroline on that. That's a secure line.
Aye, fine. Be quicker than, the flashcards in front of the camera.
Yeah. Damn right, it will be quicker.
So just to be clear, are we supposed to be keeping this quiet, the fact that we're this task force, or is this going to be known? Because I don't imagine, you're right, there might be people who aren't particularly keen to talk, or people who don't understand why we're asking these questions, so need to know why.
Well, if it serves your purpose, and you think you can get away with it, but I wouldn't recommend it for you to be saying out loud what you're doing. Especially not when the election is so close, Matilda. You still want to be a representative, right?
Yeah, thanks for the reminder.
Then you don't want to damage your reputation unless you do find the person in the next month. And then you can, brag about it and get a few votes.
Yep. Yes. Quite right.
So are we in agreement then? I can get in touch with Hubert, start the process. So remember, you report to me.
Inform the others then, I suppose.
Sorry?
You'll inform the others, because it sounds like it was a multi-faction kind of agreement, but you're the one acting on their behalf, essentially.
Yes, I am the point of contact, as Polymathis wanted to point out.
No? Fine.
So, without further ado, I guess I will have a chat with Nanjasil for a second before you leave.
Right.
I imagine, Teach, we will be back in contact shortly.
Well, I sure hope so.
Thank you for the invitation to come and speak with you.
Yeah.
That's right.
And then you are see off the ship, and he walks to the prow of the ship.
I'll walk with him. Wondering if he's going to throw me off.
Mind telling me what happened in your domain?
Got any particular thing in mind?
Well, in my last meeting with Roger, he was quite disturbed, I'm going to use the word. And I wanted to understand why. And then Polymathus mentioned that the last time he was that edgy was when the Inquisition was around town.
Well, that's weird, because something did happen, but I don't know how he'd know about it. Because we ain't told no one, or at least I ain't told no one.
So what did happen?
Well, society came and they attacked Janish's place. A lot of them in one go. Now I put 2 of them in the ground. I know you said don't kill them, but
Damn right I
they
did.
Yeah, well, they was planning on killing me. It weren't like I had loads of time to think about it whilst they was battering the door down. Anyways, as it goes, the group of us killed a lot of them. It's all tidied up. But they so there's no breach or anything, but they'd be missing as far as the society's concerned.
How many?
6.
And at this size, widen a bit.
That's how many they sent. And seems like they was planning on killing Carl. Seems like that's why he was there.
He takes several deep breaths. Did you manage to get anything out of him, Nanjacel?
No, I didn't talk to them. I just snapped their necks in 2. They weren't really thinking about what information to get out of them. I was more thinking about whether or not they were going to put me in the ground. They shot Jan in the chest with something, I don't know what it was. But it created out of a fucking hole. So, if you get my drift, it weren't like they were into chatting about shit. Besides, by the time he was done, there were no prisoners left.
And it didn't occur to you to come and tell me right away that you had done exactly the opposite of what I ordered. Granted, you have your reasons, but why do I have to find out through others?
Well, truth be told, I was planning on coming to see you. I don't know how on earth Roger came to know about it. But I'll tell you what, I'm fucking well going to go and find out. Because that means 1 of 3 people, because it can't be nothing to do with Dermot, decided to go and spill a load of shit to him.
So,
and that does not seem to me to be the basis of a setup of people that get on, does it?
well, you find out who did what.
Alright.
My main concern right now is to start then looking at a way of mitigating this. But it might be too late. They probably sent a replacement team and they're doing recon.
Well, thing is, the ones who came, they knew the layout of the place. Don't know how, but they knew it. Now, Janish's place has got no cameras, no nothing in it. So it can't be, I mean, he doesn't even have a phone, so it can't be that something's been hacked. They must have other means of doing it. So, is a concern. But if you think they sent a replacement team, it might be as we can start looking for them. I don't know whether they'll be back because they didn't get a call. So, I take your point. Should have let you know about this earlier. There was a lot of cleaning up to do. I didn't think you'd appreciate a masquerade breach on the top of all of it.
Word of advice. Next potential masquerade breach involving the Second Inquisition. You come straight away and I'll help you sort it out for free. But this information is life or death, not yourself.
Alright, I got it.
For all of us.
So, I'll find out who told Roger what and let you know. You want me to look into finding out where these fuckers are?
Nah, I'm on it.
Alright. Well, any more information comes my way, I'll let you know.
Right. Go on then.
Right. I'll leave as quickly as I can.
And as you leave, there is this...
Having lied to his face repeatedly.
Yeah. But they were like he wasn't in a state in which he was very social. Not sociable. Yeah. He was just... Tell angry. Me what's... Yes, he was angry. And of course...
I'm terrified of this fact. So...
Nangel does, however, now feel the sting of going against the wishes of your faction. So... Of course, you will be able to justify a lot of your actions. So it's not that you're going to go to town, to stay in town all the way. You're just on the bus stop, so you gain 1 stain for breaking the chronicle tenet of my faction, right or wrong.
Yep.
Anything you would like to use as a stain blocking deterrent?
I don't know. I think that I must have a conviction that's around I really want to sacrifice people to someone in the ground. I don't know.
I'm afraid you don't have that yet, so therefore you will take your stain.
Okay, fine, fair enough.
We will check it at the end of the session. Now, Nangel gets off of the SS Great Britain and goes outside in front of the river where the rest of the coterie is waiting. So I would assume that you would go to the car? To the Matilda mobile?
Yeah. Anything serious?
Yeah.
You want to chat about?
Yes. Yeah, I think it needs a conversation, but it's probably better if we get back first, isn't it?
Yeah, okay.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I'll get back in the car.
Okay.
Maybe you can fill me in on a few of the details, because I thought all this thing had been done and dusted.
Yeah, no, there's it's a bit... Yeah, it's a bit to explain, I think.
There's quite a lot to explain.
Seems
Not
so.
just to Dermot, but also to each other.
Right.
Right.
And I assume we're going to wait until we're back rather than have this conversation in the car.
Yeah. Are we going to Janish's or are we going to Dermot's? Or the house, the new house?
I think we should go to Janish's.
Sounds good.
Up to you.
You see my pad? I'd like to see yours, if that's possible.
Yes, it would. It's. We will be comfortable there, and yes, you should be made welcome there as part of the coterie. There may be times where you need to come there to find me, and it would be good if they are aware that you are someone I know.
Right.
So
do they know anything about all of us kind of stuff, or is it very much, I don't know what your arrangement is with these people. You live with some people, right?
I do live with people and also a lot of dogs.
Dogs?
You're not a dog person?
I mean, they don't particularly like us, do they?
Well,
Maybe if you're not a dog person, don't come in.
these dogs are more used to us than others.
Okay. Fine if you
It'd be
say
alright.
so.
It'll be alright.
Providing proper introductions are made, there's nothing to worry about.
The dogs are sane. It'll be alright.
Okay. Fine.
Okay. So you make it all the way to Janice's haven. Could you please describe it, Peter, for Rob's sake?
So, what you've got is effectively a very old house that looks like at some point in its history it got shot to pieces, but then some point since that time has been repaired gradually in sort of bits and bobs by a number of different people who've got, loosely speaking, the same aesthetic taste, but not entirely. And that the repairs all happened at different times. And it sits in quite large grounds that includes a river that goes through it, and also kind of areas of trees. So it's got quite expansive grounds around it. And the entrance that we go to is a gated entrance. So it's kind of like, I guess, a classic vampire house, but one on a tight budget.
And there's no technology kind of as you move in and start to.
No, none. I mean, there's no sign of any cameras. There's no sign of. I mean, it just looked like an old
Does it have
place
power?
that hasn't changed. Yeah, I think it does have power.
Yes, it does.
And
That is the only technology that it has is electricity.
Yeah.
Oil lamps.
It doesn't have any phone lines, but it has power.
It has, yeah.
Okay.
The power was taken down by the society
yeah.
when they attacked.
Yeah, but now it does have power, and Janus has one old radio, but no wiring other than the electricity wiring.
In which case, I think as they cross the threshold into that area, you'll probably won't take much. Those people who are sort of aware of how people are feeling will notice that he's starting to get a little bit nervous and sort of uncertain as you enter into this place.
So Janusz will make a point of saying, actually no, he won't say anything yet. We'll wait until we get to the house.
Okay, so you get to the house and you go into one of the studies. Yep, go on.
Sorry, go on.
Oh, so he will just say, as the two of you already know, but I should make clear to you, Dermot, whilst you are here, I consider you to be my guest, with all of the rights and protections that such a thing entails. And you will be safe during your time here. And should you have things you need, I will do my best to see they are met.
And how are you going to make sure we're safe here?
Well, there are many ways that we have achieved that over time. So that there are people who will watch for us in the day, and there are people who will watch for us in the night. And as I say, my hounds troll the grounds, should there be any problem. And of course, we are all under the eyes of Payroom here.
I see. Right. Carlos, about this point, I'm switching on Sense the Unseen.
Yeah. And actually, you see the place. And you're still outside, or have you gone inside it already?
I guess we're at the door at this point.
Yeah.
You're at the door. Okay. And you hear what Janice says, and you just turn on the Sense the Unseen and turn and look into the place. And nothing seems out of the ordinary until you see at the end of the corridor someone that, because you can see from the front door all the way to the back where the kitchen is, someone walking from one, like in front of that entrance, that stops briefly to turn and then continues. But you could swear that woman was a Banshee.
You okay, Dermot?
Got to worry, it's safe. The last people who broke in here, I punched the shit out of them. I'll do the same thing if it happens again.
There's something wrong with this place.
What?
In what way?
Shouldn't be here. This is, do you hear that baying?
Can't say I do, mate.
No.
You're talking of sounds of unhappiness.
Aye, you can hear the wailing. Just...
Yeah. Must
There's
understand.
people died here, man.
Yes,
People died.
that's right, Dermot. People did die here. I'm very impressed that you're aware of such things.
Aye. Well, you know, it doesn't take a psychic to fucking know this kind of stuff. You can just feel it. I mean, my hands are... I just stand to be here, man.
Well, this is my home, Dermot. And I must look after these unquiet spirits. They need to be fed.
What you talking about?
Well,
You feed the spirits.
yes. Honey
Would
and
you-
vodka. In the
That
old
makes them
way.
go away.
No, it doesn't make them go away. It calms them. You see, they are distressed because of what happened here. And
Aye, so am I. Something
Yeah.
real bad.
yes, it was very bad, Dermot. Very bad. But it happened a long time ago. And they are
So-
gradually calming.
Dermot, do you want to stay, or would you feel happier if we went back to yours? I don't want to make you uncomfortable, especially on your first night.
I see, but you know, it's something right wrong about this place.
It's
This
good.
is a place that
I don't
It is
know.
not-
I mean, you say you can protect us, but you know, you can't really promise those things when there's those kind of things around here. They got a mind and a will of their own. If they come for me, they'll come for me.
my promise to you is a sincere one. And I have lived here for many years. Nanjazal has lived here for many years. Matilda has stayed on more than one occasion. I have kept my promise to them. You are under no obligation to stay if you wish to leave.
It's under your protection, then. I'll see about it and just keep my eyes and ears open. That's all right.
It can be a difficult thing to have one foot beyond the material. I understand what that is like. But I can help you, Dermot, if it is something that you struggle with.
It's not so much a struggle. It's just how things are.
Yes.
Look,
Yes.
fine.
But you would be surprised how few people recognize such things. Even though it is as obvious to us as the moon in the sky.
Aye, plain in front of your face it is.
If you say so.
Right. I think Dermot at this point is going to try and step over the threshold, but it's probably not going to be easy for him.
Yeah. It is a little bit of a struggle, but you step in, and as you keep your heightened senses tuned, so you do realize, yes, indeed, the place is haunted, and there's a lot of sadness and mourning in you. And it comes to you in waves, as the wail of the Banshee. But that Banshee sort of seems to look kindly upon Janusz. And as he approaches certain areas, you see the spirits leave his immediate presence, but their emotions linger. So if they're angry, it will reflect on other living creatures around here. especially mortals. For now, you're trying to do without your spirit sight. And you realize that a lot of the people you were seeing were actually real people. But they had been touched by that emotion, that energy of the restless spirits. And the mound people, you still hear that. So that's why you were seeing so many. And it's their influence that you see. Right now, it's just a nostalgic one. With some of them outright being distressed and in mourning. But it's faint.
So I'll take people to a sitting room where we can be comfortable.
Okay.
And make sure once everyone is seated, he'll say, "Seems there is much that we must discuss."
Oh, why? Are we starting talking about the murders, or are we starting talking about the other stuff? Because I think we best on fill Dermot in about it, especially since that's what Teach was asking me about.
Well, yes, as you're probably aware, Dermot, there have been some murders of kindred that have taken place. One this year and one 5 years ago.
5 years back.
Yeah.
5 years back.
5 years ago. But despite the time between them, the method of the murder was the same.
See?
So it has come to our attention as something strange that we wish to look into. It is not the only murder that has taken place in Bristol.
No,
Nor the only one that's not been solved.
but they both had their heads lopped off, didn't they?
Yes, these ones were decapitated.
See?
And the heads got left in different places.
Yes.
Like, proper there for someone to find, you know? Like
Seems
a proper
a bit grisly.
fucking hero did it. Yeah,
It
from
was.
No.
I had stories of the kind of things that do that, and they ain't pleasant.
No. We don't know who it is at the moment, but that's why we were talking to Teach. That's why. That's what we've been tasked with finding out, as you probably heard.
Now, it is my opinion that we have an avenue available to us now, one that we did not follow previously, but that we could, especially now that Teach is willing to provide a level of authority that we do not have. But before I go into that, this is your first night with us here, Dermot, and well, we are a multi-faction coterie. That means that sometimes our suspicions and investigations can fall in places that make it difficult for at least one of us at any time.
Why?
So I would ask if there are any within the Camarilla that, if we were to begin to investigate, would cause you a great degree of difficulty.
I prefer, obviously, if there's anything to do with my clan, then I prefer to kind of deal with that personal, otherwise,
I understand.
I suppose maybe the same kind of thing works with you guys. I mean, if there's any of my clan out there, they can sometimes be a bit prickly to deal with and the likes, but...
Well, I don't know. If there's something to be dealt with in my clan, probably rather one of you does that. Less likely to Reuben the better.
Well,
Yeah.
But I'm saying it's just, maybe it's the other way for me at least, so...
And there's no one in my clan, in my faction, so I don't really have that problem.
Well, your lot ain't the same kind of bunch of twats as my lot, are they?
So it is an issue of blood and clan for you, Dermot, but not one of faction.
I think, if you need me to, obviously, some people's gonna take more of an exception in talking to certain ones of you, but in terms of poking in the business and these guys know what the cam are like, so they don't like it when people poke in the wrong places, so it's the usual thing. A bit like you're saying, teach, you don't want to piss them off. That makes sense. It's the same with the cam. You know the rules.
Well, I have a suggestion for where we might go with this investigation. One which will most likely not be a surprise to two of you. But I thought rather than present it to Teach directly, as this is a joint venture, and Dermot may have opinions on it, I would raise it first here. That is, Dermot, that we do not know who the murderer is, but we do know one of the people that has attempted to hide the murder. We know the identity of them.
Okay.
However, we did not have, because of their status within the city, it was dangerous to approach them in any deep measure. But now that Teach is with us, I imagine it is quite possible that he could do so. So I was going to suggest, so that we are all clear, perhaps that Teach invite Caleb for a talk. And that there, I am sure, it will be a simple matter for Teach to, shall we say, make Caleb speak more freely about whatever he was doing that night. And perhaps then we would learn more.
That's fair enough. If you think that's the best course of action, then it's fair enough. If there's anybody else that you want to approach, is that your only lead at the moment?
The main one, yeah.
He is given his sire and their position in Bristol, it is something I'm wary of approaching him directly. But of course, if you have other ideas about how to get this information from Caleb or to learn more about him,
it's often, what it's like when you get pulled in by the police and the likes. They always seem to have some information, they hold it back, and then they try and catch you in a bit of a loop and the likes. And so, if you don't have any information, you can't really catch them in a trap. That's what they wait to do. That's why it's best not to say anything.
Well, we got information, at least it implicates him. We know what he was doing, or at least we know what he was doing as relates to this.
Yeah.
Because he was responsible for getting rid of the body.
Yeah.
And we know this is something he should not have been doing because of the territory where he was doing it.
Yeah, he was
and so when presented with this, of course he may deny such things, but I imagine he will find that much harder to do under Teacher's gaze.
Seems likely, doesn't it?
Yes.
So you got a witness or something?
Of sorts. It's
we know it to be true. It is as simple as that.
Yeah.
It's not really,
Well, it is. You can't turn down factual evidence like this.
okay, it wasn't.
Wait, so what is the factual evidence?
Janish.
So we were shown it.
Aye.
By Carl.
No,
By
not by Carl.
Yeah.
No,
No, it was-
not by Carl. By Kostroma.
Right. Yes.
Now, he's not a kindred I know in the city.
She is not a kindred at all, but she...
She's not one of your fucking ghosts, is she?
Oh no, she's no ghost. No, she is far more than that. But she showed a vision of this, so strong, in fact, that not only did I see it, but that Matilda also saw it. And you'll look at Matilda, didn't you?
Oh no, don't say. There was something. There was enough evidence to convince me that
You're privileged. that you saw it.
Ah, indeed.
She don't
It
just
was,
send these kind of things to no one, you know.
it was a great gift.
Right.
It
Cool.
was.
Gift and
it
should be
was quite
treated that way.
something.
But-
Well, I mean, Dermot, people in your clan are known for having visions of sorts. I'm sure you're familiar with people who do. I mean, it's much like
Look,
that.
Don't get me wrong. I mean, I understand that you can see all kinds of wonderful things, whether it's under the influence of faith or you know, a good night out or whatever it might be. But fundamentally, when it comes down to actually putting that in front of somebody else, like, I don't know, and saying a judge, then it doesn't really hold. I
No,
saw this
it
whilst on a trip.
I
No,
know.
no,
it
no,
hold.
no.
Actually, me and all my mates had the same trip. It was great. We was all seeing the same fucking thing. It was fucking amazing. But it doesn't actually hold when it's such a thing, you know. So
I'm
I mean,
well
you
aware.
said yourself that his sire is quite important. Surely, you know, you actually have some like reason that you want to pull this guy and question him.
Sorry. This doesn't hold true to what you were saying before.
What's that?
You don't need to know where we got this from. If we're going to get him in and talk to him, he might well cough his guts up before he knows that. You don't know no one saw him.
Nanj has a point. I mean, there's.
And you was just
Yeah.
saying about trapping people. Can't have it both ways, Dermot.
No. Then fine. I think it's just the way in which you bring him in just needs to be a little bit more gentle, perhaps.
Well,
okay.
I'm not suggesting we bring him in some aggressive manner. I'm suggesting that Teach invites him over for a talk.
Okay,
Or
fair enough then.
about something or other. And that once he's there, Teach can present him with the issue that he was seen doing this thing. And I imagine, whilst Caleb is no doubt good at hiding his intentions, I imagine Teach is at least as good at spotting them.
It's also worth saying that Caleb ain't that good at hiding because I managed to
No.
follow him for a full night without him knowing about it. And I can describe to him everything he did that night. So, if he wants to know how good he is at keeping himself hidden, the answer is not very.
He's got quite a few black marks against his name.
I mean,
in general.
there's a risk if Teach is unsuccessful. No doubt we will be blamed. But if Teach is successful, then we will be able to take the next step.
And Teach is pissed at us right now, so it would be a good thing if we did something to change that.
I don't understand. Why would Teach be unhappy?
Well, that's point number 2 on the docket to talk about. So it's probably best left until we finish discussing this topic. But it relates to the people who came here and attacked us.
Damn it, are you happy for us? It's someone in your faction. Are you happy for us to go ahead and put the screws on Caleb?
I mean, you know, if it's your only lead, I mean, that's the kind of thing. We've been tasked to do this, so it seems like that's the only lead we got. We got to get the information, but just got to make sure we do it right, because otherwise you scare him and he'll run and well, maybe, I mean, that's what you want. Just anyway, I'm on board. It's fine. I just wanted to point out that a vision in some way or another is not necessarily. You seem to be convinced that this is like evidence, and it's not really. It's not fact.
I am not convinced of it in terms of persuading the city.
No,
but I am convinced of the truth of it.
I'll bend to that. That's fine. But anyway, yes. Let's get him in. A gentle conversation sounds good.
A gentle conversation with Teach.
Such a thing can happen.
Teach me all bad.
I mean, Caleb's a hound, isn't he?
No,
he is.
No, Caleb is Obasi's child.
Twat.
It's a worm, is what he is.
Well, okay. Fair enough.
But the other thing,
an attack.
Yeah, the other thing is, a bunch of tossers came here not that long ago. Well, a few months ago now, I guess. And, they came here to kill Carl. Because he was here at the time.
Okay. This is the dramas she's talking about.
Yeah,
high on.
it's the one.
But they are belonging to a group of people called the Society of Leopold. Now, for some reason, these fuckers know about us. As in, they know about, or had some idea at least of what we are. Came in here, tried to take him out. Now, we put him down, so all's well that ends well, except in, just prior to that happening, we happened to find out that it was likely. When we told this to Teach, he took precautionary measures. That's why I was telling you about centralised phone systems. Because we knew they turned over folks in London when London fell, and we thought here might be the next target. So Teach had it that we shouldn't mess with them. We shouldn't kill them or nothing like that. Now, it turns out we had no choice because they come knocking the door down. What the hell else are you going to do, right? So he asked me when I was there what happened. And I told him we killed them all and there weren't no survivors. And they're all done and dusted. And then he says to me, he says, well, you know what, Nanj? Roger turned up here and he was really fucking distressed. So I thinks to myself, Nanj, how is it that Roger could know about this shit when we all said to each other that we weren't going to cough up shit? Because that's exactly what we agreed with Teach. So now I'm in the fucking doghouse with Teach because one of yous, presumably you, Matty, went and spilled the shit to Roger. Why would you do that?
Because I thought that something pretty obvious that we were going to have to tell our factions at some point. I mean, I assumed that you had already told Teach what happened.
We agreed with Teach not to tell no one but him. That's
no,
what
we agreed with Teach to do is not to tell him anything about the investigation.
That's exactly what this is. And we agreed that this would...
No. It's different. It's
No,
different things.
it's not different. It's not different. Well, then it's not impacting you, is it? Because it's not you that's been all over the coals about it.
Look, on that night, Caleb was there, Annie was there. It's fair to assume that the Camarilla knows that there was something that happened at Janish's house, that there was some kind of attack. I thought you had told Teach, because I thought that would be the sensible thing to do. And so, of course, and then fucking Hubert warned us about the Society of Leopold, so the library knows it's a threat. So then it's the Annex who don't know anything.
So you went and you told Roger all about what happened. What exactly did you tell him?
Everything that happened. I said there was an attack. I said he should be worried. I didn't tell him how many people attacked. Didn't tell him the details of it. I told him that we took care of it. To my mind, it benefits everyone if people are wary of it. Otherwise, another coterie gets in the neck because they don't know that's what's coming to them.
How much do you think I give a shit about another coterie? Not even fucking slightly. I give a shit about this coterie.
Do you give a shit if the whole city falls like London does?
You know what?
I do.
I don't think that I do. What I care about is the people I care about. And there aren't that many of them in this city. That is a fact.
I'm sorry, I honestly thought you were told Teach.
I didn't have time to tell Teach, did I? Because I was too busy cleaning up the shit storm that happened afterwards. So now, he's got the right cob on about it. So, what I don't want in my life is Teach with his hair off. So, brings me to another point though. Why has Roger got his knickers in a twist about it?
Well, the Society of Leopold are an enemy of our kind.
Right.
They've been around a long time.
Perhaps. It is my understanding that Teach was also very concerned about them.
It was, but they came here, we snapped their necks and sent them away. Why, if you're Roger, do you give a shit about it? He's going to be more than capable of dealing with them.
Most likely that they are here at all.
Well, Teach reckons, because of the delay, the Society is probably setting up another group to come back and finish what this one started. Now he's looking into it as we speak. He wants me
So
to go
it's
back
good.
with all the information about what we know about it. But it strikes me, Jan, if he's right about it, then we've got some preparing to do. If they come back here,
Yeah. I am puzzled about why they came. It seems almost as if they were hunting down Carl, and I do not understand how they became aware of him or what that was about.
no,
I
me neither.
I'm not sure if their arrival here was purely looking for him, whether that was just a coincidence that they had returned to this place.
Do you think it was linked to what happened before?
Return to this place. You mean they've been here before?
A long, long time ago, yes.
Yeah, not in my lifetime.
Those spirits that you saw.
Aye.
It is the Society of Leopold that put them in that state. It is why, when the Society of Leopold came back here, they did not fare so well, for the spirits remembered them.
It does make sense symbolically to come here as a first strike if they've already struck here before, but I mean, you're right.
There's got to be some missing linchpin though, right?
But this is a problem. This is sacred ground, and
Right.
I cannot simply abandon it. Neither, though, can I ignore the risk they pose to not just us, but to the people who come here. This society does not care if innocents get caught in their business, such that it is.
I reckon Teach finds out where they are. We just go down there and get rid of them.
Well, I believe Teach is concerned that if we are not careful, we will draw their attention. They are a much bigger group than the few that came here.
They sent 6 people here. We already got their attention.
Well, but what Carl learned was that those 6 people were acting independently and that it was not known what they were doing. Their presence here is not a known fact. They had not announced themselves to the society here in Bristol. They had only just arrived. At the moment, there is no reason for them to come here again.
Then we best tell that to Teach, because I didn't tell him that.
Well,
That was 5 months ago, though. I mean, a lot can change.
8.
Yes.
I think perhaps more important than informing Teach is perhaps the fact that, you know, there might be another group of people coming to kill you.
I tell you what,
And now,
it is important.
I suppose me.
Yeah, it is important to tell Teach, though, because whilst you might think of it as insignificant, let me tell you, if he loses his shit, it's not good for any of us.
No, I get that. You don't have to raise your voice in here, Nudge.
What do you mean? I ain't raising my voice.
Just, you know, they can hear you.
I think
Of
you're...
course
You
they
get
can hear
angry.
me.
They get angry.
What do you mean?
Mm.
Of course they can hear me. Why would they not be able to hear me? Why would it even matter if they...
Nanjazal, your passion is admirable, as ever. But it is true, we are all here, and you are my guests, and there is a time for peace and thoughtful discussion.
And it's time for action. And I say perhaps we should get off and get on with the action then. You know,
What action?
I don't know, just anything that's not here.
Dermot sees out the window a black horse. It's right there. Just standing in the field. Turns inside the house to look into the inside the house and look at you. Moves its mane, and because of the way it moves, you believe it could be a puka. Now, is this one a good omen or a bad omen? You're not sure.
Look, you said this place was sacred. I don't quite understand how that is. There's no church here that I can see. There's no, just... So I'm a little bit confused and all, because this place... Are they your pets or something? What the fuck are you?
You think I'm what or something?
I don't know.
Well, what we are is something perhaps you will come to learn over time. But yes, this is a sacred place. It is not perhaps a church as you understand it, but that does not mean it is not holy, nor that there are not rites observed here. But
I mean,
this is a lot for one evening.
I think we've covered everything we need to for tonight. Dermot, do you want me to drive you back to your house?
Please, that'd be great.
Yeah.
If that's okay.
That's fine. Let's go.
Perhaps tomorrow night we might speak to Teach further on this matter.
Aye.
Fine.
Yeah. All right. See you guys tomorrow.
Good night, Matilda.
Okay.
I hope you have a safe journey back.
Thank you.
And it's been a pleasure to meet you, Dermot.
And likewise, thank you for being so honest about everything. It's quite a lot for one night.
Yes, it is.
Seeing you then.
And as Dermot and Matilda get in the car, Dermot gives one last look back into the fields, and you see the horse that approaches the water as if to drink. But it never does. Soon you are in the car and you're driving off. I assume Matilda is taking you to wherever it is you're gonna spend the night. Are you going to have a conversation in the car?
Yeah. I'll ask Dermot if he wants to, like, get out of the car and have some fresh air and just have a walk. Or if he just wants to go straight home.
I think he'll be encouraging to get the hell out of the,
Cool.
the estate.
I will.
And then after that, he will visibly calm and just seem to sort of, somewhat come back to himself. He's like, no, it's fine. It's all fine. I'd rather just keep on moving if that's okay.
It's fine. Are you okay?
Oh yeah, I don't know what's going on there. That place.
It's a lot to take in. I mean, I've had 5 years to get used to it, but when I first went there, it was
Did you see them all? Like,
I didn't know. What did you see?
perhaps another night we can talk about that proper. But
That's fine. If it makes you feel any better, I did see one thing once, but
Aye.
that was quite a while ago. They don't seem to want to say hi to me as much as perhaps they want to say hi to you.
what do you see?
It was a face and a door. I don't know what it means. I don't understand it very well, but
Aye.
yeah.
Perhaps we can talk
Yeah.
more about it another
Another
time.
night.
But
Yeah, let's get you home.
I'd heard stories about Janusz, but I hadn't quite understood what they meant when they talked about him. He's
Yeah.
it's quite the fella.
Has to be seen to be believed, I think. It's one of
Aye.
those guys.
Seems to command the spirits, it seems, more than fear them.
Yeah, I don't think I'm trying to think if I've ever seen Janusz afraid. I don't know if I have. It's quite frightening in itself.
Yeah.
Alright.
Anyway, I know Nanj is a bit of a pop art and all, but
It's fine. She's I mean,
it'll blow over, Normally does with her.
yeah. No, I know what it's like. I mean, I feel bad. I feel bad that I didn't tell her. But I think she's smarting because Teach told her off, and I don't blame her because he's a scary guy.
But anyways,
Yeah. It's nice to have you. I'm sorry it's been a bit much tonight.
it's fine. Anyway, I was hoping maybe now we got a moment alone, then I was hoping maybe I could maybe tag along with you to meet some of you as folks, the Autarkis and the likes.
Earth would you want to do that for?
Just get an introduction to a couple of people. It's always good for business, people knowing some of the skills I have and the likes.
Oh, like networking.
Networking, yeah, that kind of thing. It's obviously I'm with the cam and all. It's not like I'm looking to change my stripes, but certainly, as Teach was alluding, some things need to be done for all of us. So perhaps next time we could tag along together and all.
Yeah, I'll let you know. I'll let you know.
I'll give it some thought.
Yeah, I'll give it some thought. All right.
So, are the others having a conversation after the day?
I expect so.
Okay.
I want to just update Janusz about a few things.
Okay.
So obviously after they left, I'll say there's a great problem with Teach. He asked me everything what happened that night, and I told him they had a lay of the land.
Yes.
Because I didn't have not much choice, but I didn't know what else it was all right to tell him. So I told him they was all done. It was all killed on the night.
Yes.
But it struck me that if he talks to Matty, she might say something different.
What are you concerned that she will say?
Well, she knows at least 2 of them weren't dead when she left.
Well.
I said you got shot and all.
Well, if Teach wishes to ask me questions about what occurred on my domain, he may. I will see if I wish to answer those questions. As to what he is told by other people, Matilda was present, of course, but those men were in terrible condition.
Yeah, you're
It was
right.
likely they would not live long.
And we didn't have no doctor.
And unfortunately, there was no doctor in a fit state to work on them. And it is without question they did not survive.
Right, that is known.
So.
He was right pissed off, though.
That is difficult.
I'm going to have to go back to him tomorrow. Cough up some more information, I expect.
Well,
Tell him what I'm...
hopefully he will be more interested in speaking to Caleb and taking out his frustrations on a member of the Camarilla.
Right. I can't believe she told Roger.
Yes, I thought she didn't trust Roger.
Yeah, me too. And now all of a sudden, they're thick as fucking thieves.
I don't trust Roger.
No, me neither. He's a twat.
It is troubles me that he has carried out profane acts in our domain and simply escaped. But now,
Teach could get him in for questioning.
Teach has already been wary of involving himself with Roger. However, if we prove ourselves in this matter, over time, perhaps we might solve other murders as well.
Right.
What did you think of Dermot? I understand you've met him before.
Yeah, he's a decent bloke. Got a good taste in music. I mean, obviously, that's his job, innit? But otherwise, I didn't know. What I didn't know was that he could see things.
No.
Didn't know that.
A rare gift,
Yeah.
indeed.
I'm going to ask him about it tomorrow.
Well,
see what I can find out.
I'm sure that will be a most interesting conversation. I have high hopes for him.
He seems solid, doesn't he?
He seems connected in a way that Carl was, but whereas Carl seemed to be given great gifts with no awareness at all, Dermot seems to have some understanding.
Fine.
I think a little cloudy, but nevertheless, a step in the right direction.
Right. It comes to people at the right time, doesn't it? So what we got to do is mind them until the time is right.
I think he will need to be handled gently, Nadsal.
I think that's doable, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right. Well, reckon I'd best get off and sort a few things out.
Of course. Well, have a good evening.
I will leave.
Yeah.
Or I wouldn't.
Okay, so everyone just goes to do their own thing for the rest of the evening. There's not like super lots, but still enough time. And I was wondering if we should go for an early-ish break now that we have this sort of like organic thing going on. Yeah, it's a couple of minutes ahead of time. So we are going to go for a break, but not before giving a massive shout out to Daria for the wonderful art of Dermot. Really nice, really fast, really good, really nice. I mean, it was all the things you were expecting. Also, really lovely to engage with her and the process of the feedback. You know, the ideas coming back and forth. Super professional. Highly recommended. Go and check her. On the details are on our blog post, so go and check that. And she is on Instagram. You can see a lot more of her art, and it's wonderful. It's amazing. Any of you guys have any particular shout outs for this week? No.
No, you beat me to it, Carlos. Thank you, Darian.
Yeah. I mean, it was really nice. It was also recommended from another artist of the stream, Dolores Dross, the creator of the other portraits of Nanjasel, Janusz, Matilda, and Carl. And she's the one who pointed us in the right direction. So I love it when we have that little interactions between the community and we get to be a part of this networking sort of exercise. So we're going for a break. It's almost 8:30 here in the UK on the night of the Monday. So we're gonna come back at a 8:45. We're gonna have, I guess, for a couple of minutes for part 2 of this 7th episode of the 2nd season of Blood on the Severn. So see you back in about 15 minutes.
Bye.
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 Hello and welcome back for part 2 of episode 7 of the second season of Blood on the Severn. And after everyone went to bed, and let the events of the evening sink in, there is a couple of things that are pressing in everyone's mind. Of course, for Dermot is the overload, that huge amount of information. For Matilda is the conversation she had with Nangisel at the end, which was not ideal. But also there's this nagging reminder in the back of her head: elections are coming soon. So for those who have been paying attention to the election, I think I might have misspoken last episode in saying that the elections were next December, and they were not. They were in this December. I misspoke. Matilda is in her campaign doing her stuff. So you're a month away, and this is the last stretch. Now Nangisel's been thinking about her father a lot more lately, and in that conversation with Matilda and talking about the people she cared for, the people she cared about, sort of brought back to the surface. And Janice is curious about how those restless spirits in his house are seen by others, and the effects that they have on others, which is something he was aware of, but now he sees that this might be a sign, the sight that Dermot has. Well, regardless, over the next few nights, each one of you goes about your business and you feed accordingly. So I want to jump to the following Monday, a couple of days later, where Janus has agreed to meet with Father Michael for a friendly game of chess out in the park. Now that it's a little windy, but you have found a place where you can sit down and relax and have a nice quiet game of chess while you have a conversation. So you arrive there first, and then you see him approaching. He's again with his beanie and his round glasses in his round face, and that easy smile that he always has. And when he sees you, he waves at you and picks up the pace. Oh, hi, Janus. Apologies. I am I late? Oh no, you were early. Sorry about that.
Yeah, I was a little keen.
Oh.
Forgive me.
Yeah, it's been a while since we've had our games of chess. I was a little surprised you might remember them. I've been keeping myself busy playing chess with a new member of our congregation. She's quite keen, but she's really good. She doesn't let me win as easily as you sometimes do, if I'm honest. And he puts the board, opens it, gets the pieces out.
I'll say you have been getting the better of me over the years, I must admit.
Well, I've been practicing, or more accurately, I've been getting my butt kicked. But I'm learning, so.
Well, I'm also learning, so perhaps this will be an interesting game for both of us.
He grabs 2 pawns, one in each hand, puts them behind his back, then presents them forward to you. You choose a hand. You're playing.
Janusz will pick his right hand.
Yeah. So you're playing blacks, he's playing whites. And you set up the board. So tell me, Janusz, how are the children?
Flourishing. Yes, they are doing well. It is a good time. This has been a good year for us, I must say.
Oh,
good year.
I'm glad to hear that. Glad to hear that. It's been a difficult year for a lot of people, but I think regardless of the faith each of them follow, it gives them strength. I have seen my congregation also grow closer to one another.
Yes.
And it is reassuring, isn't it? And when you see them interact in such a way, it's a lovely feeling.
Yes, it's there is something nourishing about them being together in that place. Something I find fulfilling on a spiritual level.
Yes. He starts making his move. You reply.
So Tim, I know that you have always taken your duties very seriously, and
My duties are my life.
quite. It's one of the things I think we see eye to eye on.
Yeah.
I thought that when you've been doing this sort of thing as long as we have, there must be times where you lose someone.
Oh,
And
yes.
I wondered how you managed that, particularly if the circumstances are unexpected.
Well, in our faith, it's especially when it's unexpected, is the will of the Lord. It's we are here on borrowed time. All of us. Some of us get to live a lifetime, while others get only to live a few years. But I'm not gonna go into conversations about fate or predestination. We are always living, and we have death, especially the death of others, but mostly our own death, as something that will happen one day. And it is true. It will eventually happen, sooner or later. One day we will die. But what I like to remind those who come to me for support is that even though we will one day die, the rest of the days we won't. We need to continue on living. We need to honor those we have lost. And there are many ways. Remembering them, praying, or just keeping their legacy alive. Because what is our society, our civilization, what is humanity but what has been built upon the legacies of those who came before us and the memories of those? We don't want their teachings or their actions to be forgotten.
Yes, of course, it's important to honor the dead. I agree. I suppose I was wondering more specifically how... I know that sometimes those who come to our doors are those who come with difficult stories. And I wondered if you felt that one of those under your care was under threat in some way, or was suffering in some way, what you would do about that.
Oh, funny that you mention it. This new member of our congregation, she's been the one I mentioned. We've been playing chess. She's been with us very short time, and she's quite shy. I know she struggles. Probably she's the victim of abuse in her household, or probably she's in a toxic relationship with friends or family or a partner. I don't mean to pry, but I have gotten the sense out of her that she's sometimes frightened
Ah, I see.
of everything. That's what makes me think that she might feel like she's in danger. Now, depending on the type of danger, I mean, all I can do is be there and try to support her and help her. And of course, there are people who deal with those things, the authorities. But
Yes, but you and I both know that sometimes the authorities turn a blind eye or do not have the resources. What then? What would you do then, my friend?
in this case, I'm afraid it's not that they would not do their job, because I like to think that we have to trust in them doing their job. Is that she will not tell the authorities for fear of the repercussions.
Mm.
So I decided to do this chess games, and a couple of other members have shown an interest, and now I am trying to use our friendly games of chess as a way of creating a support group for her, so she can know that others share her passion for chess. And she seems to be amenable to that idea. Of course, this is just started in the last few weeks.
I must say, my friend, I've always admired your calm. For it sounds as if she is at some risk and she is unable to ask for help. And I think I would struggle greatly knowing that was the case. I think it would make me very upset, very distressed.
Well,
Yet you seem so measured.
Well, my outburst calm might deceive what I really feel about it. I am concerned for her and for others in my congregation for different reasons.
Yes. We carry their burdens, don't we? To some degree.
Yes, absolutely. But I cannot make their problems my own. I have to guide them and support them and help them. I can help them carry the weight. But then at some point I have to put that weight down, because I need the space to carry the burden of others.
Yes.
Even if I'm going to pick it up right back later. Because you never really let go.
No. No, I never let go.
But it's a juggling act. Knowing which burdens to carry when. Because at some point we need our burdens to be carried by somebody. I put my burdens in someone who will never falter. And he turns his eyes up to the sky. But sometimes it's unfair to give him all of my weight. So I also share it with friends like yourself.
Well, I am glad to help, for I always believe that these burdens are the God's way of testing us.
Absolutely.
Of helping us to grow.
God gives his toughest battles to his fiercest warriors.
Quite so, quite so. How long have we been doing this, Michael? How long have we been having these chats?
Ooh. About 8 years now, maybe. Yeah. Maybe
were
9.
you here at Bristol before then? Have you been here? You've always seemed a fixture of the place to me, but perhaps was that always the case? Have you always been here?
When I was younger, yes, and I in the same church that I am. I'm a priest now.
Younger can mean many things to us these days.
Before I went on to the seminar to become a priest.
But you were here even then in this very church, in the same one?
At the beginning, yes.
Goodness.
Then I went to different places, and when I had the opportunity to come back to Bristol, I took it.
So as a young man, decades ago.
Oh yes, absolutely. I mean, must have been 40, 50 years ago when I started.
So Janusz will, as he's picking up his next chess piece, be thinking about whether this places him here at the point when his family were killed by the first iteration of their society when they came the first time.
It does.
So he will put down the chess piece, probably in the wrong place, a little bit hard.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, Janusz. You did not see my knight, I assume. And he grabs his knight and deftly gets your pawn.
I'll lean back a bit. He'll probably grip the table like that, but the leg like underneath the table for a moment, and say, "Yes, it seems I did not notice your knight at all, and I have suffered for it. Perhaps I will still recover the game, though." And he'll play, but probably not that brilliantly. But he'll mainly be trying not to lose his temper.
Yeah. Can you do a Fury Frenzy check for me, please?
Fury Frenzy, sure thing.
Of course,
love
you
a good Fury
get
Frenzy
to add
check.
your humanity, as usual.
Yeah, well, I should enjoy it while I've got it, right? So if I fail this check, I'm about to lose it. So Frenzy.
Okay. That is a very good Frenzy check. 5 successes.
Okay.
So yes, you would imagine Father Michael must have, I mean, he must be in his mid-70s now. So in his youth, when he was in his teenage years and early 20s, that must have been about 50 years ago. 45, 50 years ago. So we are talking, if we're in 2017, that it was around the 70s, the early.
Yeah, which is when it all went down.
Yes.
Okay. So Janusz, as he passed his check so well, will play a very nice game of chess, just where he is thinking about murderous thoughts every time he plays the chess piece, and where he's just maybe staring at the board a little too long sometimes, but otherwise pretty fine. Be very polite.
Michael will, at some point, he will point out, he's saying, this is a good example of the conversation we were having earlier. Because, of course, you have been jumping from topic to topic. He says, right here, we can trade queens. Or I can castle. Now, I say this because I think I have mate in 3 moves. So I'm feeling apologies, I'm feeling a little cocky. Trading queens will undermine both of our power bases. But here, if I get the support of my castle, my congregation, my white bishop, my tower, my rook, and these 2 pawns, they are all I need. You can eat my queen. You can take my queen. And still, I'll be protected. And together, stronger, we will persevere and endure. He castles. Says, your move. And that's when you realize castling, I mean, how come he can castle so late in this game? You have been so distracted. You haven't even put him in check once. I mean, he hasn't moved. Several of them. You have been sloppy. You were guarding your king. And then all of a sudden, now his rook is on a warpath, and there is nothing that can stop it.
So I can see now that I should have spent less time engaged in our conversation and more time watching this board, for you have clearly been pulling the wool over my eyes. But as you know, this is not our first game, and it will not be our last. I am happy to concede this one. But I will. I'll be more focused next time, I promise you.
It's understandable. I can see that something's weighing down your mind. And of course, you tip over the king, pick up the pieces, and as you are putting them back in their little bags, he says, "So is there anything that is troubling you, Yanis? For you seem to be worried or concerned about someone in your flock."
Well, I am always concerned for those in my flock, but I think it was... To be honest with you, it is those that I have failed to help more than those that I am helping now that trouble me. As you say, it stays with you, always.
Those are the hardest ones.
Yes. To find a way to somehow honor the memory or make it up to those who have gone. That is the challenge, I think. But one I think it is important to rise to.
Indeed. But again, you wouldn't be having this battle if you weren't one of the strongest of soldiers.
Yes. Well, I look forward to the next one.
Me too. This has been delightful. Probably, if we establish it on a weekly basis, maybe you can come to the church and also play games with other people one night a month.
Perhaps. You know me, though. I prefer these natural surroundings when I can get them. But perhaps, I don't know if they will be too nervous, but perhaps some of your congregation could come out here.
Well, we could try and arrange that. I'm afraid that the weather is not helping us at the moment, but let's see what we can arrange.
Indeed.
Yeah, lovely seeing you, Janis.
And you, my friend.
God bless you, my friend. And he takes his chess set, puts it in his bag, and with a big smile and a firm handshake, he bids you good night as he walks back, smiling.
So I should just say for reference that following this conversation, Janis is going to be walking the Duchess past the church quite often, and he is going to start just seeing who's, he's not going to case the place, but if he happens to be going by when there are people coming in and out, particularly if any of them look like they could be his chess player, he will want to identify who they are.
Okay. Well, we'll come back to that later.
Yeah, it's not like an in the background thing he'll be doing.
Meanwhile, on another night, somewhere in the BS3 area, in the tobacco factory, Dermot and Matilda meet. So,
I imagine Matilda's probably already there.
Yes, absolutely.
Dermot comes in, sort of beckons him over to the table.
So when Dermot sees Matilda, she's sitting there in the table with quite a few people. Some of them you have seen before, but there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people with Matilda. They're in one of the big tables around it.
Yeah. All right. Guys, this is Dermot. Dermot, this is I'll introduce everyone. I'll point to Audrey and just say you might already know each other. You
do know Audrey. She is Faisal's child of the Banu Hakim. So she is recently Camarilla.
Yeah.
The other ones are Mitchell, Ruby, Squid
and Murray.
and Murray. They all look very normal.
Yeah.
And are any of them, just to double check, are any of them Malkavian or?
Nope.
Just,
no, none of them.
Aliens. Cater. Yeah, I've got a cater for Nosferatu, Brewhard, Toreador, and Banu Hakim.
So she has a lot of stickers, but
Yeah.
now you
Spicy mix, yeah.
yeah, but now you have a Malkavian in the table,
Yeah.
and
So,
it's you.
He's joined my coterie. Carl left. Have a seat. Take a seat, and she'll move up, or she'll just grab a
Squid,
seat next to her. Yeah.
Okay.
It's nice of you to invite me out. It's nice to get out of it. Meet some new faces. Is this the Mac Pack then?
The Rat Pack. I haven't heard that one before. I mean, yeah, I guess it is.
And you see the one who was introduced as Squid saying, "But we're not mad. Why were we the Mad Pack? That's not us."
No, Matt, as in like Matilda.
Oh, we're her campaign advisors. And he says that with such pride.
Yeah. You're number one. You're the primary.
Yeah. Have you probably you have not heard the slogan of her campaign for next month. We've been running.
I'm not one of the prospective thingies. Voters.
Yeah, no, it's not really.
Well, we have a slogan. And did you see Murray going like, "Oh, not again, Squid, please"?
No, do go on.
All's wells. Vote Matilda. How about that?
I love it. It's amazing.
Simple,
Sorry.
right?
Absolutely.
I mean,
We both good, I'm sure.
Sounds like you guys have heard that a few times now.
yes, everyone in the table, with the exception of Audrey, rolls their eyes and are like, "Oh my god, like not again." Audrey just looks at him and sort of like smiles. So, Dermot, we have not interacted a lot since, and she looks at the others and says, "Well, things have changed for my clan. But have you been before here in the tobacco factory?" Then
I popped down here a few times. I mean, I've been around for a while, but it's isn't this place? This place is Elysium, yeah.
yeah.
So, yeah, just been a few times, but mostly I'm down in Motion doing gigs over there.
And Ruby is the one that sort of asks, doing gigs. Are you a musician or something?
No, I'm a DJ.
You're a DJ. You didn't tell us he was a DJ, Matilda?
Yeah, well, I mean, he's here to tell us all about it now. How long have you DJ'd for?
Oh, forever.
Forever.
I kind of got into it a long time ago. Music was kind of my thing when I was even before this. Kind of saving grace in a lot of ways, and then just it's always been there, music all the way. But back in the old days when it was all kind of hanging out with electro funk and all that stuff coming through, been a bit of a journey. It's all there when it kicked off, all the original DJs, all the disc jockeys,
Yeah.
But
Do you play
it's-
anything?
Ruby.
No, do you play anything? Do you play any instruments?
Instruments? No. I just use other people's stuff. I mean, for the most part, I suppose I've dabbled a little bit, but nothing much. Just the traditional stuff from back home.
Yeah. Oh, like whistles and stuff.
Yeah, I'd like to blow a whistle occasionally.
So do you
Just it's good for the samples and all. It's that kind of thing. But it's great. You put it all together, and it's this craziness, and then you see it all kind of explode out. But yeah, I mean, you don't have to be a great musician to kind of put together the right sounds. It's then how you kind of put it all together and then make it like change and
Okay.
shift and everything. It's
Have a look at
amazing.
Big picture thinking, I suppose.
Well,
anyway, you guys should all come down. I can get you tickets for one of the nights and all.
yeah, Ruby says I've been meaning to go there more often since it was made an Elysium. Although Mitchell and I have gone there a couple of times, and before, and it would be nice, to get there. How long have you been a DJ in motion?
Well, quite a while. Since arriving here, really, I kind of tried to get on the scene and everything else, so maybe up to a decade, I suppose, or something.
Oh, you've been there for a while and stuff. And then,
different sorts, You might have seen my posters around, DJ O'Shea.
And you hear Murray say, like, shut the fuck up. You're DJ O'Shea.
I know it's not always possible because, you don't really want to show your identity when you're like one of us and stuff. So, and occasionally it's not me doing the gigs, it's other people's if need to sort of, not be there. The likes, but, it's still my music.
You would recognize on Murray's famous Matilda that actually he kind of is like a little bit of a fan of the local DJ O'Shea, that like the gigs and stuff, because of how he's reacting. He's like, no way, I never thought DJ O'Shea was one of us.
Him and be like, do you want to get an autograph for you?
He pinches your thigh under the table. I think, shut up.
Yeah, no, I can. I can.
Um, No way. And then there is sort of this aura that draws the attention of people, as in the people in the table. It is the wide-eyed, wide open mouth of Squid going, oh, I got it.
Got what?
How about we made for your campaign a party right here in the tobacco factory? It has a place that you can rent for your campaign featuring DJ O'Shea.
I mean,
It's right here in BS3. You will be in charge of this place, Matilda, when you win.
yeah. I mean, are we talking like campaign party? Are we talking like post like winning party? Because they're two different things.
Well, I don't know if we have the campaign funds to pay for both of them, but I think we should do something. I don't
Look, you'll have to talk to me, a manager, but I can make sure she knows that you get mates rates on it and all.
And
Yeah, sure.
he looks to Audrey, who is your financial muscle. Well, was your financial muscle until she became Camarilla, because she was the girl with the money. She still is, but now she has less access to fund freely the campaign of a representative of the Autarkis,
I'll look at her and be like, I mean,
the person who is your financial muscle right now is Squid, because mysteriously some money appeared from some inheritances.
yeah, I'll look at Squid, but then I'll also be, I'll sort of be facing Squid, but I'll be looking at Audrey and be like, is that possible?
He also looks at Audrey, and she says like, well, you can always ask, baby. Yes, we can always ask. So if I can have the number of your manager, agent, person that and
Yeah.
yes, we can do that. We can do that, a rally, like a rally 2 weeks before the election.
No problem. I mean, I'll look, probably best considering the whole thing with not calling people and everything else. I can just do you want me to have a word and they can get in contact with you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Look,
Please.
I don't get it. Is this like, you can try and, is this like a party thing, or is this going to try and help you like win the election or something?
I think it's just, oh God, I'm getting your accent now, Jesus. I think it's just a press thing, right, Squid?
Yes. It will be a party, but we will give it a little bit of, people will know. Like, we will invite the voters of the area that would enjoy it to come to a party. So it's exposure
Artist.
for her and for you, but the heart of it would be a party.
I mean, I don't get how this whole thing works. Is there like all the anarchs in the area just vote? Do they?
Yeah, no, they well, you have elections every
10.
however many years, and they're 10 years, and you thank you, 10 years, and you campaign and you vote, and then you can vote for the constituents of adjacent domains as well.
Well, okay.
Yeah. It's great. You get a bit of agency every 10 years.
Well, if that's the way you want to do it, then fine. I mean, it's not the way I'm used to doing things, that's all. But I'm more than happy to put on a party for some people who want to, enjoy themselves. That's no problem at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, if you can find time for it, if we've got the funds, and I'll look at Squid and give him a thumbs up.
Give Matilda anything, it's fine.
Thank you. Are you but I look at the group and just look at back Dermot, you've not really spent much time with Annex, have you?
No. I mean, I should say, I do a few other jobs around for most kindred around the city. If you need anybody sorting, cleaning things up, or a new identity, that kind of thing, I can normally sort you out. Obviously for a price and all, but I kind of look around to the group. If any of you guys are having any problems, if you don't already know, I don't know how many of you are new kindred to the city, but it's the kind of thing you need to know. Somebody who can sort things out if you got any trouble.
Ruby turned. Oh, sorry. Go on.
There's a few people around the city who can do it, but sometimes it's just knowing the right person. Sounds like you're tight with Matilda and she's tight with me, so sometimes it's just the quickest person you can get to things.
Ruby turns and looks at Murray. Murray looks at her. She nods. And turns and says, "In this service, you do it for slicks, for us licks and also mortals."
Or just look to Matilda. It doesn't matter me who really needs it. Ultimately, the thing is, it's all of us. There's a threat from some of these things. So if you need the work, I'm sure that all the leaders of this city would agree that it's an essential service.
Is there anyone you got in mind, Ruby?
And actually, the one who replies is Murray and says, "Oh, really, it's my brother."
Your brother?
Well, I mean, he's been released. Now he's free. He thinks I'm dead. But I've been talking to my cousin who helps me know what's going on with him. And it's been years. He's older now, but he could use a clean start. And I've been trying to get my cousin to help. So if it looks like it's coming from him, getting a clean name, identity, everything. He got into the wrong end of, he rubbed the wrong people the wrong way.
Yeah.
I can feel that sometimes you end up in the joint for the wrong kind of thing, and it's not your fault.
Yeah.
Well, in this case, it was, but it wasn't. I think. I know.
Well, yeah, I'm sure Dermot and I can work something out. I mean, normally, I sort of commission him to do what he does best, and then, as you know, it sort of goes through me to clean it up afterwards. But we'll have a chat about it. Dermot, if you're able, I don't know how busy you are at the moment. Obviously, hey.
Dermot will just give her that knowing look. Raised eyebrows after everything from yesterday, well, the last few nights ago. I'm sure, it might take a little bit of time, of course, but it's fine. We can sort it out. It doesn't sound like it's a job that needs to be done in a rush or all.
No. So we got time, yes.
Yeah, leave it with us.
No, thank you.
No problem.
Okay. So I would imagine that the two of you hang out and interact. Mitchell is very quiet. in general, but also around, especially Dermot. Although you do know that over the past couple of months, he's been struggling with the fact that also Audrey now is Camarilla.
Yeah.
Because of your group, he is the strongest, anti-Kami of the group. Because he has had multiple run-ins with them,
Yeah. At some point, I'll go in and check in on him and just kind of give him a bit of attention and make sure that he's doing okay.
Yeah.
And try and put him at ease.
No, the only thing he says is like, well, you've been lucky with this multi-shenanigans coterie.
Yeah. Could have gone much worse, but they're a good lot. He's all right as well.
Yeah, I mean, especially with the Camis. I mean, Carl was nice, solid, good friend of Ruby.
Yeah.
And now this guy doesn't seem bad.
Yeah, I think he's on the level, pretty much. I mean, I think it's obviously Camarilla, but he does what serves him.
I think the Camarilla are playing their cards right,
Yeah.
Grab the ones they haven't fucked up thoroughly yet that are, amicable and friendly. Put them there to give them a good image.
You should try talking to Audrey.
Well, she's been around more, which is good.
Yeah.
But she still goes around from time to time to some celebrations, weird stuff, and river. And I almost lost it when she said that girls would jump into the water naked, and then the guys would give them like wreaths and stuff. And I was like, "Why are you there?" Well, the summer solstice celebration, or the day of the whipping cloud, or the bullshit that your other friends have. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
one of them was like a fertility ritual. It's like, I'm serious. Are you serious? We're kindred.
Yeah, I mean, thankfully they don't invite me to those. But I mean, yeah, I don't know. They seem happy enough, and I mean, are you worried about Ruby? Do you feel like she's getting distant again?
I fear the one's getting distant is me. I've been trying to look into Scott's murder.
And?
Nothing. But
like nothing, or nothing. It's weird. Nothing. Like,
nothing is weird. Nothing like someone messed with people's minds. Nothing. That stinks like the Camarilla, because they are the ones who have the people who can do it. They are the ones who have the mind melters and benders.
Have you been speaking to mortals? Have you been speaking to the kindred?
Both, and this has been thorough. So whomever was involved has some measure of power in the sect. This is not like an idiot that fucked up. This is someone. This is an idiot who's connected.
Okay.
But I think they're onto me.
You need to be. Are you being careful?
Well, as careful as I can, but
just
some of them need more convincing than others, and he cracks his knuckles.
Okay, all right. Give me a list of. Or can you just let me know at some point who you've spoken to? Don't ask any more questions, because I don't want you getting into trouble. Or at least not for a while. And then just leave it with me. I said I'd handle it before, do you remember? I'm still...
It's been months, Matilda. How are you handling it?
Trust me. I wouldn't say if I didn't mean it.
And I want to believe you, but you've got many responsibilities, and now this with the election.
It's in...
I understand if you can't, but...
No, I don't know what I can and can't do, but it's being looked into. But leave it alone, right?
I can't.
Okay. We'll just be quieter.
How about just whenever you need anything, you just let me know and I'll do it.
Okay.
If you're handling it with your guys, keep me in the loop, involve me.
Yeah.
Then I have something to do and I don't have to feel alone whenever Audrey's not around, whenever Ruby's not around.
Okay. All right. I'm going to go back to Dermot because Squid's giving him more slogans and I need to save him. So just give me a second and I'm going to go back over to the other side of the group.
And as you leave him...
from marketing management.
Sorry?
Marketing manager.
As you leave him, you see Ruby that, of course, she noticed that you were having a conversation and she just waited until the end and then she passes you. She gives you a quick wink and a smile as in saying, thank you for chatting with him.
Yeah.
And then she goes to him, puts his hair behind his ear and very tenderly talks to him.
Okay.
So the rest of the evening goes pretty nice, including Dermot being, around some other people also, but in this case, mortals that are around that are hanging around and partying. So you start with the social and then you slowly escalate it. Audrey and Squid stay in the place until very late, until you leave. I mean, you leave and they are still there. The rest of the people leave. Like at some point, Murray and Matilda and Mitch and Ruby, they all leave. But when you leave, which is quite late, they're still there. They're amongst the last, as if they were treasuring each and every second they are spending with one another, being from the Camarilla and the Anarchs, in a very wrong way. Because this is not the way it was supposed to be. She was Autarkis. But not anymore. Now, Nanjacel, I have a question to ask. Because you mentioned that you wanted... So, Bex, you wanted Nanjacel to reconnect with her father. Have a chat with him. But also you mentioned Dermot.
Yes.
Okay.
So obviously, my dad died at the docks, and so that's where I go to talk to him. But now I know that Dermot see the dead. So I would like to have a conversation with Dermot about whether or not he will go with me to do this. And then I would like to go and chat to my dad, wherever it is that he is. Down that way. So that's
okay. So
I don't know whether you want to play the scene between Rob and I. Sorry.
Well, it depends. If it's something that Dermot would happily do, at least join you at the beginning, then it seems like a simple enough request. It's like, just come and see if you see anything. But if Rob feels that Dermot might need a little convincing or at least a little bit more context, then we can play the scene. So I'm happy with either. We're good with time today.
Dermot and Nanj have a good working relationship,
yes.
So he will happily come and have a chat with her. No problem at all.
Okay.
So then you meet at the docks.
Yeah. So to be precise, this will be by the waterside where he died.
Yes. So it'll take a couple of days.
Yes. Yeah.
Because you will be giving a quick call to Hubert.
Yes. Okay.
To let him know that in your area of the docks, there will be someone of the Camarilla showing up. And that someone is his fellow Malkavian.
Yep.
And it actually takes literally 2 days. It's not that Hubert is showing any sort of preference for Malkavians or anything. It's just it was fast. Completely not suspicious.
Well, this suits my purposes, so that's fine. So I'll have probably made my way there earlier in the evening, and I'll arrange a time to meet with Dermot there. And I think probably fair to say that when he arrived, there's a noticeable difference to her, because she's normally in his interactions with her has been quite kind of fiery and forthright, but this is a version of her which is much quieter and much more reflective. But when he arrives, she will say, "Thanks for coming. I was hoping you could help me out with something, sort of like we talked about. I can't remember if I've mentioned this to you or not, but it was a ways back now, but my old man died in an accident around here, or here, precisely. Now, time was that he was all I had in the world, and things ain't that way no more. But it seems to me that you might quite like an update on what I've been up to. And always it's here I talk to him. Sort of where he is, because this is where I am. But it struck me that I'd never been able to see him. And I thought you might be able to. Such that, I can have a word and be looking in the right direction, like, Now, I don't know how it works with your lot. Is it just a thing that happens, or you've got to say something or do something? I don't know.
Well, these things there's all around us now, and it's more just when we're fortunate, we can block them out and choose not to see them. And that's what I do most of the time. Sometimes, I let them in. Sometimes I don't got no choice.
Well, I don't know if there's going to be any other people around here. But I can tell you what he looks like, if that helps.
Well, as long as you keep an eye on me in case I see something I don't want to see, but...
What I got to do if that happens?
And just, I'll be fine. I'm sure.
Well, probably ain't going to be all night. It's just...
No. Look, family's important. I understand that. I understand that more than most, so... I'll do anything I can to help you, him.
I really appreciate that. We do.
No problem. So, just give me a moment and I'll have a look around, see. Perhaps you could just tell me what he looks like and I'll see if I can find him.
So I'll provide a description of him. So he's a big guy. He's like 6'3", and he's quite well built. Significantly, he is wearing around his neck kind of glass pendant that looks like this. So this is part of the description in terms of this, how you'll be able to identify me. Otherwise, there's nothing particularly, remarkable about him.
And
yeah.
Do you mind me asking, how did he die? It does make a difference, that's all.
Yeah, I can appreciate that. Besides, it's always worth knowing what you're on the lookout for. He got knocked in the water by a crane, but he was unconscious when he hit the water, and so he sank like a stone. They said he didn't feel nothing at the time.
Okay. I'll have a look.
Right. All right, thanks.
Okay. So once Dermot opens his soul to the sight, he sees this sort of ghostly superposition of what it is and was. And true enough, new figures appear. There is a woman. She seems to be dressed in Victorian era dress. She's looking out into the water, sort of like waiting. She's standing, floating in the air, with her hands resting upon something that probably was a pier or deck or something that has been removed since. Then you see where two real world people are having a conversation near some kids that play. There is a non-living, like a ghostly old man that is just looking at the kids and smiling, and then looks at the people sitting on the bench, and he's just there looking. And you know that these are sometimes the spirits of those who have departed, specifically this one recently, and he's just looking over their family and making sure they're okay, while the other one is one that has unfinished business, and you doubt she will ever complete. No sign of Nanjasil's father around the water, which makes you think one of two possibilities. The most likely is that he just moved on. His soul moved on. Not everyone lingers after they die. Actually, the number is quite small. And of all of them, not all of them remain in that state forever. And the other alternative is this dock is not what it was important to him. This is not the place where his soul would be tied to. It is most likely that he just is with the Lord.
Look around, turn to the Victorian lady and go, "It's a long evening, ma'am. Long evening. Might want to get some rest."
Oh, I am fine. They will come back. They're due. Their ship is due. They will be back.
Well, God bless you, ma'am.
Amen.
And he'll kind of try and close it down, turn back to Nanj. I'm not going to lie to you, Nanj, you know, and not try and give you any kind of false hope or any things like that. There's a couple of spirits out there, but none of them is your father.
What?
And
That don't make no sense.
it means he's probably passed on, Nanj. Probably passed on for the best, you know. Did he have a good life? And that's not to say that he wasn't ever here, you understand. I mean, you've only brought me down here just now. Could have been that he was here before. And if he says you come down here and you've been talking to him for a long time, like, could have been that he's listened to what you had to say and he's decided to pass on himself. Could be that he's not here, he could be somewhere else. If you want, I can happily go to other places with you and look for... put your soul to rest, you. But, I'm sure he still hears what you're saying.
I don't know. if he had a good life. I don't know.
Well, most people find they're content with their lot. It's only a few linger around. Other places, place would be a flood. But no, you know, he's with the
So
Lord now. He's gone up and found his place in heaven, no doubt. I'm sure he was a God-fearing man.
Sorry, Dermot. I didn't think that was a thing that would happen. I mean, he's always here, or I know he was here.
You felt him.
Right, but I didn't know there would be a time when he weren't here. And now it's gone.
Same as in this world, Nanj. You know, we don't all stick around
But
forever.
I hadn't finished talking to him. I hadn't.
You don't have to stop talking to him, Nanj.
But
you have to understand, it's painful for some of the people that stays around here. And that's not to say that they don't want to be close to people here on this place, but they have to move on at some point. You don't want to keep them here. You got to wish them happiness and all.
So if he's not here, then I don't mean he can't hear me. That's what you're saying.
No.
Right.
It's the same as when you pray to the Lord. He hears you.
Well, I don't do that.
You don't have to pray to the Lord. I mean, you talk to your Father. It's the same kind of thing.
I'm sorry to have wasted your time.
Not a waste of time. Sounds like you're still dealing with this.
No, that's the point. I'm not dealing with it. That's what I came to tell him. Tell him it's all right now.
Well, tell him then.
There's different. After he was gone, I didn't have a path. I didn't have a journey to go on. Now I do. Things are different now. For better. And I thought I was coming here to tell him that. To tell him it was all right. He could let go. It was going to be all right. I didn't think I would get here and find he'd already gone. He'd already let go. That.
Would you rather I just lied to you, Nanj, and tell you that he was here?
No, I wouldn't rather have that. It's not what I expected at all. It's not what I went in my head, you know? So, it's alright.
Look, you came here to say what you had to say. As far as I'm concerned, you should still say it and mean it. And if he's there listening, at least then he'll hear it and you'll know you said it. I'll leave you for a bit, you know.
Alright. If what you say is true, then I'll do it. I'll do it. Thanks. So I think they shall wait until not until he's gone, but until he's stepped away or however, whatever Dermot's doing.
When you have your own space and you feel more comfortable, he gives you your space.
And so then she'll sit down on the side of the dock, so she's looking out over the water. And then she'll say, Well, this is a weird old conversation, ain't it? Thought you was here to listen. It turns out you ain't. For some reason that bothers me. Upsets me, you know? Thought you was always going to be here. No, you ain't. It don't make no sense to me because I was coming to tell you it's all right now. You know, I didn't know what I was doing after you went. Spent a long time not knowing what I was doing, and then I got mixed up with this group of people, and I got some better advice. Came to understand something different about life, right? There's more different paths ahead of me than what I thought. I've got a different life ahead of me now than the one I had when you was here. And I was coming to say, you know, I'm gonna be all right. And it ain't. It's coming to say, you know, you can go. You ain't got to look out for me no more. What I know you was doing, but Dermot says you can still hear me, even though you're already gone. Anyway, he's right. It's worth saying it. I was so mad at you for going. So mad at you for such a long time. Not anymore. Not anymore. I understand now a bit better how these things work. Okay. He's right. And you're off wherever his folks go. And I'm on a different spiritual path. One to enlightenment. Who would have thought I would have been talking about that, eh? Yes. Well, wherever you is, reckon I'll see when I get there. But just give you the heads up, it's probably a really fucking long time till I comes by. I love you, Dad. Going off now. Then I think she'll stand up, or she'll get up, what she's saying. Mm-hmm. And is Dermot still around somewhere? Like nearby?
Yeah, he'll still be within sight, just
not within earshot, yeah.
Yeah.
So she'll go up to him and she'll say, "You done it? It's all said now. I think I'm gonna go home, sit and chew it over for a while."
You sure? You know what we used to do when, after a week, proper Irish week,
What? What do you used to do?
Go out on the Raz, You said what you had to say. You celebrate the life that was.
That does sound a better idea. Where do you think we should go? See when you're not busy.
But normally, just few places we can go together without some kind of 2-day permissions on these kind of things. But motion's always alive, so I'd
rather forget about this in a different way, I think.
It's up to you.
Now let's do it. It's been a long time since I went out some days.
Okay.
See what we can.
I'll get a couple of friends. We'll go out into town.
Okay.
Right.
So Dermot knows that there are a few places, especially around the harbor side, where he doesn't need any permission because the Autarkis have opened it for business, but not as a hunting ground. But motion in other places.
We can do a circuit.
Yeah,
Just gonna
Craft engineer, several places that you can go.
take Nange around and just keep her spirits buoyed.
And for the rest of the evening, Dermot shows Nange a different side of herself as she celebrates the life of her father. Now, I will have a question for Nangesel because I know for a fact that Dermot will engage in this. Which will be, he will be feeding from certain choice individuals, making a cocktail for himself, like people taking different types of drugs. Dermot will be taking different strength and amounts of sips, as in a little bit of LSD for the trip, a little bit of weed to calm it down, a little bit of speed to put it, to make it jiggle. And he does this, but once in that state, he is sharper and focused and clearer than you have ever seen him. And he is happier and up, and he at some point just goes behind the deck and starts making music. And he starts proper giving a tribute to the man you described your father was. But in the weirdest way you have ever heard, because this is electronic music, you never thought of that being what calls to you. So would Nangesel also engage in this sort of trip that she's been offered by DJ Oshie?
Yeah, I think so. Cool.
Okay. So, just to make... Sorry?
I'll come home hammered to old man.
What do they call this?
Yeah.
Just to give some respite to some of our listeners and some of our viewers, the session tonight will end with Nangesel letting herself go completely. She's in a state in which she no longer is thinking, she's just feeling the music and letting it manifest through the motions of her body as tears roll down her cheeks and she smiles, for her father had a good life, and above all, he knew she loved him. And that is where we're gonna end the session, and not with a freaking cliffhanger, because I need your nerves sharp for next week's ending. So this is where we're gonna leave it. Thank you very much to my players for giving me a lovely session. Today was really nice. Good luck to Matilda Wells. Vote for Matilda Wells.
Finally, oh my god, we're gonna invite Janusz to the party.
Oh, that's gonna be an interesting one. Yes, because next week is full campaign mode on. Is going to be episode 8, and elections happen in episode 9. So I'm just calling it out there because there's a vote coming your way, Disaster Ghouls. And if you want to know more about how votes work and how elections, I believe a vote around the vote is a sort of a voteception worthy kind of thing. So when Matilda loses the election, she can blame the Disaster Ghouls and not me. You know what? Unless she wins, and therefore she can blame the Disaster Ghouls and not me. Okay? No. I will be posting a vote, and for those of you who are curious, if you are a patron or a Twitch subscriber of ours, you have within your the amazing package that we offer, you have the possibility to just go into our Discord. Who also you can join without being a patron or Twitch supporter, but if you are in the Discord, there will be votes that will help shape the story Sam and I are trying to tell with the help of our players. We have elements of the plot that we have considered, that we have several choices, and instead of making our minds between ourselves, we let it to you to help us choose which way to steer things. So check that out, talk to people, join our Discord. I felt a Mitch pushing a button somewhere. And we will see you next week. Until then, enjoy. Thank you very much, and good night. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.